Okay, good day and welcome to today's program. So this is a laboratory audit program powered by Pegasus Consultancy. And by way of introduction, my name is Dr. Aliu. I'll be your host today on this section. So just a quick brief on Pegasus Consultancy. Pegasus Consultancy is the consultancy and training arm of Pegasus Limited, a quality-oriented organization that is registered in Nigeria with the CAC in 2018, registered with the International Society of Quality and has affiliation with other training bodies. We have over 7 years. Pegasus Consultancy has trained over 10,000 healthcare professionals across the 6 continents of the world in various healthcare programs, quality programs, biosafety, molecular medicine, laboratory audit, quality management system, just like what you are doing, and they have been involved in helping facility gain accreditations, mentoring individuals and organizations involved in setting up and building formal quality management system equipment and infrastructure, external assessment, EQ support, accreditation, mentorship, training, consultancy, and capacity building for both individual and organization. So the organization was born out of the passion to see effective quality delivery services and satisfaction in healthcare system. So Pegasus parade over 20 quality consultants who helped in delivering of projects and programs. So you can be rest assured of the quality of services we are going to be delivering to you. So the essence of this program is to help individual understand what is laboratory audit, help them to have a practical understanding on it, and also prepare them to become laboratory auditor. So for this course, we have 8 modules: introduction to audit, which we are going to be into today. Then we're going to have a review of the ISO 15189 2022. So that's going to be like a practicum session where individual participants is expected to review this the ISO 15189 standard to be able to have a grip understanding of it. Next, we'll talk about conducting an audit, how to conduct an audit. So other modules will be addressing audit principles, skills, techniques, and attributes of an auditor. Next, we're going to be looking at reporting audit findings. How do you report an audit finding? Then we're going to also be looking at how to develop a checklist, how to develop an audit checklist. Then we're going to be looking at the SLIPTA checklist and overview of it. They want to have a practical session. Now, practical sessions are going to be scheduled in such a way that we have to do some level of audits and report it according to what we have been trained and taught. And that is key aspect for you to be able to finish this program. Please, if you can hear me loud and clear, please type on the comment section that you can hear me loud and clear. So today we're going to be looking at introduction to audit by way of introduction. So at the end of the day, you should be able to describe the measures to evaluate the QMS, develop a document and procedures for internal audit, plan and manage an internal audit program, develop a process to prepare laboratory staff for external audit, then understand how to use the results from the laboratory audit, advocate the importance of taking corrective action. Remember, this is just an introduction to audit. Now, audit is part of the 12 quality system essentials. It falls under assessment. It falls what? Under assessment. It falls under assessment. So then when we talk about evaluation and audit, so these are some of the key components that is involved when it comes to evaluation and audit. We have reviews by external organization, periodic reviews of requests and sample requirements, assessment of user feedback. We have internal audit, we have staff suggestion, risk assessment, quality indicator. All this forms part of what we use to do evaluation and also audit. So there's internal audit and external audit. So what we are going to be looking at generally in this program is audit, both internal audit and external audit. So what's the difference between assessment and audit? An assessment is a systematic examination of some parts or sometimes all of the quality management system to demonstrate to all concerned that the laboratory is meeting a regulatory accreditation or a customer requirement. So it's a systematic examination of some part or all of the part of the QMS. An audit is a systematic an audit is a systematic, independent, and documented process for obtaining evidence and evaluating it objectively to determine the extent to which an audit criteria are fulfilled. So look at it. A systematic, it must be independent, and it's a documented procedure for obtaining evidence of compliance and evaluating it objectively to determine to the extent to which an audit criteria are fulfilled. In other words, there can never be an audit if there is no audit criteria. This according to the ISO 19011-2018. You wanted to note that ISO 19011-2018 is the audit management system standard. Just as the way we have the ISO 15189 for the laboratory, ISO 13400. So for audit management system, ISO 19011-2018 is the standard requirement. So all what we're going to be taking you through this program and many more is going to be cleared from the ISO 19011-2018 standard. You wanted to know that if you don't have a good understanding of the quality management system and the ISO 15189 requirements, you won't be able to have a good understanding of the laboratory audit program. So it is worthy of note that you have an understanding, gone through trainings when it comes to laboratory quality management system and also the ISO 15189-2022. So if you have not, you can take advantage of it at Pegasus Consultancy. We offer those trainings both as a group and also as an individual to ensure that you have a better understanding. Because just look at it, if you don't have an understanding of the requirement, how do you audit? So you need to have a grip and a better understanding of what is expected when the requirement is stated. What do you need to fulfill that requirement? And what are the processes that needs to be put in place? What are the policies? What are the documents? What are the compliances that needs to be put in place to fulfill that particular requirement? Because if you don't know where you are going, every way becomes what? A way. Are we communicating? So please, you can hear me loud and clear. Please type on the comment section that you can hear me loud and clear. So when we're looking at it, remember we're looking at overview. Auditing applies to the entire part of the workflow. So from the pre-analytical to the analytical to the post-analytical to the result interpretation, all the phases of the lab, you can apply what audit, either to whole or partially to it. During an audit, we are asking what is being done. Okay, thank you. How does it comply with written policies and procedures? Based on the checklist requirements that are derived from applicable standard, let's say for ISO 15189, ISO 17024, ISO 15190. All these are various standards. So there's a checklist that is used. So we are asking what is being done. How does it comply to the written policies and procedures? So that is what we do in audit. Now, what is the importance of audit in the lab? To check lab performance for quality results and services, check competency of the personnel and the lab, help to identify opportunities for improvement, objectively ways of measuring improvement, check for conformity to standard, quality management system, regulatory requirement, and customers' what requirements. So audit is not a punitive process. It's not a process to punish anyone or to punish the system. It is a process to help to evaluate the performance of the quality of services, the competency of the personnel, to help to identify opportunities for improvement. To me, identifying opportunity of improvement is one of the biggest benefits of audit. Because if you audit regularly, you're going to see the area that needs to be improved. And when you act on it, definitely there's going to be a process improvement or the quality of the service that is being rendered. Please remember that, as we all know, quality is not a destination, quality is a journey. So if quality is a journey, definitely every aspect of the journey has to be put in check to ensure that we continuously improve once and over again. So there are majorly two types of audit. We have what? Internal audit and external audit. So internal audit and external audit. Now we have what we also have a classification of first party audit, second party audit, and third party audit. That's another classification. So an audit can be first internal audit or external audit. Another audit can be a first part audit, second part audit, or third part audit. So when we talk about internal audit, it's performed by the lab itself to determine the conformance of its own policy, procedures, and applicable standards. So it's also referred to as what? Internal audit is conducted by auditors who are employed by the organization being audited, but who have no vested interest in that area at which they are being. So in other words, you cannot audit yourself. Internal auditors for microbiology session doing auditing can audit chemistry, can audit other sessions, but you cannot audit your own work process. So that's an internal audit. So irrespective of the location, once it's within the same organization, with same policy, even though the lab is in South Africa and the other branch is in Nigeria, once it is being by the employee, it is known as what? Internal audit. And also it is worthy to note that one of the things the internal audit helps to do is to help to strengthen the system, and it's a major requirement for what? Compliance and accreditation processes. Yes, it's also worthy to note that when it comes to audit, it is expected that this must be done. You must have an standard operating procedures. You have an audit program, audit checklist, and everything you are using to conduct an audit. And most importantly, the auditor has to be trained and certified. If the auditor is not certified to be an internal auditor, definitely that audit is null and void. Are we communicating? Okay, let's talk about second party audit. What is second party audit? Just as you can see on the screen, the second party audit performed by an interested external party. So second party is a form of what? An external audit. Can be performed by customers or by other persons on behalf of the laboratory customer. Example, let's say maybe the Ministry of Health or FEMA or whatever any organization is implementing partners or external auditors performed by a laboratory on its own referral lab. That is an example. Let's say, for example, you want to use a particular lab as a reference lab. So you can go there and audit it to see if they are doing the right thing. Tend to be more formal than the first party audit because audit result can influence the customer decisions and etc. So that is known as what? A second party audit. Now for a third party audit, it's performed by an independent that is free from any conflict of interest. Example like accrediting bodies, certification bodies, regulatory authorities, those are what? Third party audit, and they also form what? External what? Audits. Now, we talk about classification of audit based on scope. So, based on scope now, we remember that we classify the audit internal, external. Other classification, we talk about first party audit, second party audit, and third party audit. Now, based on classification of audit, based on the scope, so we have system audit. This concentrates on a high quality management system. That's system. We have process audit that concentrates on a specific process. Example, sample reception, blood collection. That is a particular process. We have product audit. This concentrates on one or more products. Example, maybe report format, or you want to audit a laboratory information system, you want to audit a services, all those are what? Product audit. So based on scope, it can be classified as a system audit, as process audit, and also what? As product audit. Then let's look at audit strategy. This we're going to look at also, but let's just know we are doing an overview, just to give you a rundown of what an audit is. When we talk about audit, check the whole, we have audit strategy, horizontal, vertical, and witnessing. These are strategies for auditing. So by horizontal, you check the whole quality management system or part of it based on the documented information. So you could check this, check that, check that, check that. Usually used for auditing management requirement. While vertical is reported selected randomly, you can pick 2 or 3 numbers, let's say lab numbers, and you check everything from top to bottom. how it was generated, how the test was validated, the QC calibration, PT, staff training, competency, result reporting, storage of samples, instrument validation, etc. That is vertical. So you are picking a few random requests, but you are checking everything, all the aspects of what quality management system. So horizontal is just all through. You are checking one process to another, one of the management system to the other. When we have witnessing, this involves observing the personnel, conducting a test or any other activity. That's okay, do a particular test or do a particular procedure. Okay, collect some sample from a patient. Let's see how you collect the sample. That kind of auditing is known as witnessing. Are we communicating? So when conducting an audit, remember this is a topic that will be tutored on the show. Conduct an opening meeting with the auditee, those you are doing audit. Gather and evaluate information about it, operating procedures, staff equipment, test method, environment, handling of samples, quality control activities, recording and reporting what practices. These we are going to do in details in one of our modules. Compare findings with the documented quality management system. Identify the breakdown or deviation from the system. Discuss the audit finding with the auditee. So after you have done the audit, you need to discuss the finding with the auditee. Document the observation and the non-conformities. Conduct a closing meeting and debrief the auditee with the findings of the audit. So whatever that was your finding, you need to brief them. Also send an official report to whoever you have been auditing. So this is an internal audit. Oh, we have internal audit, external audit. So what is the value of internal audit? It determines the status of the QMS of the organization. Steps to prepare the organization for external audit. So part of the requirement when an external auditor will come, they want to check out your internal audit programs. So if you are able to do a successful internal audit and you are able to close the gap, definitely there won't be much when it comes to the external audit. It increases the awareness of QMS among staff. Remember, we are doing an overview of audit, preventive and corrective actions, opportunity for continued education, flexible and cost effective because it's from the same organization, and it's part of a way to fulfill what the requirement of the standard. Example like the ISO 15189 standard. Can you hear me loud and clear? Okay. Thank you. You can hear me. Thank you. You can hear me. So, internal audit, the ISO 9011 requirement. It have an internal audit program. It document audit procedures. Ensure that the auditors are independent of any area being audited. Talking about the requirement. Ensure that what they are being independent of the area that is being audited. Document and report the auditing result for management for review. Ensure prompt follow-up of the actions on the audit non-conformity. So all these are requirements when it comes to internal audit. So you must have an internal audit program, but document the audit procedures. That means you have SOPs for internal audit conducting. Ensure that are we communicating? Please, are we communicating? So ensure prompt follow-up of actions of the non-conformity. So when we talk about internal audit programs, yeah, you need to have policies and procedures for doing your internal audit. There must be schedule for the audit, executing audit. You have audit report, corrective actions, and follow-up training of auditors. Those are very, very important. And one of the things this program is addressing Are we communicating? Okay, so these are key components of what? The audit program. We have scheduling of the audit. First and foremost, you must have policies and procedures for the audit. Then executing the audit report, trainings of auditors, corrective actions and follow-up of what? The audit. So next, what is the audit responsibility? So look at the screen. We have different responsibility for the audit: laboratory directors, quality manager, auditors, and auditee. So the laboratory director approve the internal audit policies and procedures, allocate resources for the internal audit, and oversees what corrective action. Quality manager coordinate the whole auditing program, including schedules, auditors training, corrective actions, and follow-up. The auditor now execute the audit as per the schedules and write reports to the management and the staff. Then the auditee prepare and submit record of what prepare and submit record for what internal auditing. Implement the corrective action that arise from the what identified non-conformity. Really, I'm running through all this way because I believe every one of us here have a good understanding of QMS. And however, we're going to also be digging this deep or going deeper in our subsequent word modules. So required document and record for audit. We have policies, procedures. So you must have the quality policy on your internal audit. You must have SOPs, applicable standard, audit criteria, and checklist. One of the things we're going to be teaching you in this program is how to develop what? A checklist, template for audit report, and corrective action forms. So audit should lead to actions. So when there's an audit, it gives you opportunity for improvement. That opportunity for improvement, you must act on it. If you don't act on it, then you don't improve. I will communicate. So what are the good attributes of an auditor? We have this also as a module. You must be a QMS expert, or you cannot be auditing what you don't have an understanding. So that's why most of the time, before we admit people into this program, we ensure that they have a good background on QMS. So we don't just take in people, because if we do, at the end of the day, you're going to be building on the wrong foundation. So you must have QMS experts. You must be QMS expertise. You must be competent in auditing. You must have a technical expertise too, because you cannot go and audit area you don't have technical expert. For example, now if you don't know, let's say for example, you don't know much about histology, I want to go and serve as an auditor there. At the end of the day, you may not be able to achieve a lot. Then as a good auditor, you must be diplomatic. Must have attention to details, effective communication, and etc. So audits are important for monitoring the effectiveness of the QMS. Audit can be internal or external. Audit can be focused on a particular process at a time. However, audit is also part of the 12 quality system essentials, which falls under what? Assessment. So all laboratories should establish an internal audit program. Audit should be conducted on a regular basis. Audit findings become opportunities for improvement. The continuous monitoring is key element to success in what quality system. And we're communicating. So these and many more are very important. We look at the attributes of a good auditor during subsequent programs. We're going to look at them in details, both the attributes, the skills, and etc. And that's why we have this captured in our program. So I'm going back again to see our content. So introduction to audit, review of the ISO 15189, how to conduct an audit, the audit principles, skills, technique, and attribute of an auditor, the reporting of audit findings. We're also going to be teaching us how to develop a check list, an audit checklist. You're going to be looking at the sleep that checklist, and also we're going to have audit practical. Please just give me 1 minute, please.